from One Little Minute Vlog.
I've invited Miranda back. You might remember her from a previous video because she's been making these amazing flowers lately.
Yeah, aren't these cool? They're really easy to make and super versatile. They can be used in a lot of different settings. So we're excited to be here today to show you how to make them.
Let's do it. I've noticed Miranda making these really gorgeous flowers for different events and things that she's part of, and I thought they seemed really difficult, but...
So they're a little bit time consuming, but they're actually very simple to put together. I've used them for weddings and for baby showers. They've been fun for big corporate events and also just to have around the house.
Okay, you just need a few supplies, I'm pretty sure.
Some basic supplies, yes.
Okay.
Here's what you need. Poster board, colored cardstock, floral stem wire, paper scissors, and a hot glue gun.
My favorite place to find cardstock for these flowers is a site called paperandmore.com because there are so many different color choices for a really great price. You can get cardstock in different weights and also in different sizes. And you can get envelopes, standard paper, patterned paper, textured paper. I love the 8.5 by 11 cardstock for these particular flowers. And I also love the 5 by 7 cards for party invitations or letters, and even for decorations, like a cute little garland. There are many reasons to use paperandmore.com.
Okay, so to start, you need to use your poster board, cut it down into a little bit smaller square, and then cut it into a circle. This will be the base of the flower.
Okay, and what size? How do you know
So
how big to make it?
I like my flowers to be oversized. That's kind of the fun of these. And so I probably start, I don't know, what is that, about a 9 or 10 inch base.
Sure.
And then if you want to make it smaller as you go, it's always easy to cut more off than it is to add.
And you don't need to make this precise, just kind of eyeball it.
You probably won't even see the base when we're finished, so.
Okay, perfect. Now what?
Okay, so next we're gonna cut a couple holes and stick the floral wire in.
Okay.
So I just kind of bend it in half and
Ooh, that's
do
a better way.
couple
This is why I invited you.
like that. Then I have a
there we
couple
go.
little holes, and I use 2 pieces of floral stem wire per flower. Poke those through, 2 at a time, yep.
Okay.
Just through those holes you made. The reason I like to use the wire instead of just having a plain paper base is that it makes it really simple to then hook them on to places.
Brilliant.
So I've hooked them into trees, I've hooked them onto walls.
Yeah, like a stair banister.
The
like in a
stair
house.
banister,
Like
yeah.
Gorgeous.
So
Cool.
once you get the floral stem wire through,
okay.
then I just twist it in the back just to secure it. Twist it 1 or 2 times and then
like
that's our
that.
base.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, so that's the base, easy as that.
As a side. I'm making a fuchsia pink, hot pink flower.
Okay, and I'm gonna make an orange flower today.
Okay. And how do you decide what style of petal you're doing?
So we're gonna start with just a basic flower today.
Okay.
So the one that I'm gonna make, we're gonna use 3 different sizes of petals, and all of the petals will be the same shape.
Okay.
Just what you think of when you think of a flower,
Yeah,
just
that's
a
true.
basic
It's
kind of
large on
petal
the
shape.
outside, gradually comes in.
Exactly,
Okay.
they're all about the same.
I think I'm gonna do like the really spiky kind of whatever flower that's called.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
Okay.
So, when you decide on a petal shape, you can really use any shape that you like. And actually, sometimes I like using the big, what is it, 12
like the
by
12
12?
by 12, yes.
And if you go on a diagonal, then you get these huge flowers and you end up with like 3-foot wide blooms, which are really awesome.
Those can be a little more pricey unless you find it
Super
on sale.
expensive, yeah. But worth it for a dramatic
Yeah.
effect or if a corporate client is paying for it.
Yes, true. And you know, there's different weights of cardstock. Does that matter?
Yeah, so actually my favorite flowers are made of a little bit lighter weight cardstock because I feel like they look really delicate. As you roll the petals, we'll get to that a little later, but as you roll the petals, they actually sort of form this really natural looking flower, which is one of the pieces that I love about these blooms.
So I guess you don't really know how many you need. It's just kind of arbitrary as to how big you want it.
Yeah, so you can kind of get a basic layout if you lay your base down and get a feel for about how many will fit around it.
Yes. And you know, this is such, I kind of find this relaxing. It'd be fun to do as you're watching a movie at night, or better yet, with a bunch of girlfriends.
Exactly, yeah. 2 of the ways that I've made these before, catching up on your favorite show, or in a big group, sitting around a table chatting. Okay, so once you have your petals cut, the next 2 steps are really important. This is how you get the dimension. So right now we've got great flat flowers. But
And you have 3 different sizes, I see.
Yeah, so I have my big, my middle, and my small, and you're doing all the same size.
Okay.
So to add any dimension at all to the flowers, we have to add a slit in the center of the bases. Yeah, so once you do that slit, let me show you, as you fold it over, you can make it stand up as high
Like this.
or as gently as you want it to be.
You know, the first time I learned to make these, I made mine super high, and then that looked a little
A little
awkward on my
bit,
flower.
yeah. Thing here, put a little dot
So just
of
hold
glue.
them in place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then gonna go about like that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that with all of my petals before I start gluing anything anywhere.
Okay.
If you want it to have any rolling, you know, petals have a little bit of sort of sway in them, you can sort of just bend it with your hand, but what I like to really do is use something round, because it just makes it easier.
Yeah.
So this is a can. You can use a marker. If you roll the paper around it,
Okay.
it's kind of like a little pretend like
Okay.
curling iron for your paper.
I think for mine, what if I fold it in half? Have you done that before?
I love that,
look
yeah.
kinda cool?
Yeah,
Okay.
the folds help too.
Oh, that's
So
kinda
anything you can
interesting.
do to
Gives
go
it more
from
spiky.
like plain flat paper to like this dimensional kind of rounded petal is nice.
Okay. Okay, so let's go through and glue all of our petals and prepare them to put on the base.
Okay, let's
Okay.
do it.
Okay, I'm just finishing my last one here,
Okay.
and I've
Took
got
a
quite a
little
pile.
while.
Yes, it took a while. But it's great to do that ahead of time because then you're all ready to just assemble. Am
Exactly.
I correct? That's the
Yes.
next step?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really nice to have the petals all done and then be able to just take some time to put them where you'd like them on the base, and
Okay.
then end up with the flower that you love.
Okay, so show me how it works.
I'm going to recommend for yours, because you've got a lot of petals that are similar sized, that you start in the center.
Oh,
Start
good
in the
idea.
center
Okay.
and go out.
Okay.
So then when you run out of petals, then you are done with your flower.
And I can just trim the
can
base
trim the base.
if I made it.
Exactly. I'm
Okay.
going to start because I have just
start.
this set number, and I kind of determined ahead of time what size I would need. I'm going to start on the outer edge with my largest flowers. So one of my favorite things to kind of bring the whole thing to life, that, you know, when you're creating like an installation of these flowers, is to add some fresh greenery, sometimes fresh flowers as well, but really just the greenery. And I just clip it off of the bush in my front yard.
Okay.
Okay, so I have my outer petals glued right around the edge.
wow,
Now
this
I'm
is
going back and adding my second layer just right inside that.
So how long do you think it takes you to make one?
Probably about 10 full minutes
Okay.
to make a flower, and depending on how distracted I am by the show I'm watching or the conversation I'm having.
Right.
But yeah, it's a commitment, definitely. I mean, really fun to make a couple, like to hang up in your daughter's room or to put, you know, over a doorway. But if you're gonna make, you know, 20 or 30 for an event, you have to set aside a little bit of time.
for sure. You know,
Okay.
sometimes I don't burn my fingers. I use a pen or something like that to press down.
That's a good idea. Okay, so I've got my outer layer and my middle layer. For my center ones, when I'm doing this, I would kind of call this a sort of a rose type flower. So the center, I'm gonna have, rather than all of these petals curling outward, the center ones I curled inward. So when I glue those together, they end up kind of closing, almost like the very inside of like a rosebud would close. So it ends up, you know, sort of looking natural and pretty different.
Great
So
idea.
I'm gonna stack these actually together.
Okay. Okay, we are done with our flowers, and I absolutely love how this turned out.
I know. I mean, it's
shaped
worth the
really
time,
well.
right?
I know. It's really cool.
Yeah,
and
they
yours
turned out
looks
beautiful.
I love how you did this center. I mean, I never
Yeah,
would've
with
thought
everything
to
curling
curve
in. Yeah,
opposite.
it really finishes it off well.
Yeah,
so.
it's really cool.
Yeah, they're fun.
Okay, now we didn't use a different color center, but you could on something like this flower here.
Right, yeah, it's really fun, and you could use any type of contrast color, you know, and this is a fringe idea. We'll show you how to do this.
I have a rectangle of white cardstock here, or the poster board that we were using.
Yeah.
So what, I'm just gonna cut
Just gonna
some
cut
strips?
strips.
Okay.
Yeah, not all the way down through the paper, but just sort of make this fringe
For kind of like,
kind of edge.
okay, and how,
Just go for a while. Yeah, you may need to.
because what do you wanna do, roll this whole thing up?
We're gonna roll it up.
Okay, to make a really fun center.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So then we're gonna kind of roll it, and then,
Cool.
and then you kind of can kind of crunch it a little bit.
And you could even cut the bottom if it's too
You can
tall.
cut it,
or-
yeah, and you know, if you put glue right here, it should just stick right in. If
Okay.
you need to, you could cut a couple little slits and kind of fold it out, so
Oh.
you know, supports itself.
Kinda
but
like the opposite
otherwise,
of the top.
Yeah, exactly. But
Cool.
easy as that.
That is awesome. Thank you for showing us that.
You're so welcome.
For more ideas, you can check out my website, madeeveryday.com.
And visit me at onelittleminutevlog.com.
And for great cardstock and paper options, go to paperandmore.com.
We'll
let's make more flowers and then let's go get ready for our pool party.
Sounds good.
Okay.